Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. With me today is Josh Koppel, an entrepreneur at the intersection of content and technology. Welcome to the show, Josh.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here, Patricia.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about some of the work you're doing right now. You launched Zell Division, a live streaming media company, in 2018. And you've created content for Adult Swim and some other major players. And then recently you've launched Wowee, a cannabis-focused media company. Would you tell us a little bit about your vision for that and kind of how you got into the cannabis space?
Sure. I have been a entrepreneur sort of focused on how sort of looking into technology and thinking about how that technology applies to different sort of content areas. And so the most recent one I've been focused on has been live streaming. And when I say live streaming, what I'm talking about is, content, sort of video content that plays on the internet with the element of users that get to sort of interact with the content. And so what you have is a two-way communication between what's happening and the audience. And that is that's the brush I paint with. That's sort of the canvas. And then, I work with different types of companies and different sort of content worlds, different categories, and we make content for them. So we started working for Adult Swim, and we made like a daily show for Adult Swim first. Then we worked for the Lincoln Project and did live streaming political conversations with a very big audience of anti-Trump voters. And most recently, we've gotten into cannabis to really try to bring an element of humor, education, entertainment, and shopping to the cannabis space.
I think that's such a needed niche to fill. People are looking for cannabis content, and I think especially they're looking for ways to learn and get an education about it. You just launched a series called Sell High.
Yes.
Sort of the first of its kind, right? Talk a little bit about that and what's so special about it.
Well, Sell High is basically kind of like QVC with THC. And it's a live shopping show that takes place right now we're doing it for a month. Right now we're doing it for Illinois Rise locations in Illinois as a sort of a test of this idea. But essentially what it is it's a show where the hosts come on and they talk about a bunch of different products. I think this week we're talking about Rhythm, which is one of the really popular flower brands in America. And we are, and there's a little button, actually there's a couple buttons, but there's a little button while you're watching it. You can press it and then you can buy weed while you're watching. And then, you can go pick it up. And we think that's hugely valuable. We think it's hugely valuable because we think that it's kind of hard to buy weed if you don't really know what you want. And that, when you see like one product has, 4 stars and one product has 3 stars. I mean, just all the products kind of look alike and they're all new. And, how is someone supposed to wade through all that choice to find what they're looking for? And we think that, human beings who are selling you stuff that explain stuff to you and give you the opportunity to talk and engage with them because, live streaming is a two-way experience. We think that's a hugely helpful thing. And that's what we're about.
Yeah, that's so cool. So how does it work? As far as regulations, this is something that you can only do locally in one spot for now, right? Is it I would think it would be okay to, talk about the products and then give people an e-commerce portal where they can purchase it, as long as when they go to that e-commerce portal, all the proper checks are in place, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, since COVID, the entire cannabis industry has gone into e-commerce, right? When cannabis was just declared an essential service, it became it was the catalyst that made lots and lots and lots of dispensaries decide that they needed to really have robust e-commerce menus. And to such an extent that what we hear a lot now from dispensaries is that half of their business is just people picking up their products, right? Which is actually a problem for them, because the dispensaries need to be able to upsell their customers new products. And the one-on-one FaceTime that you have with a customer is really valuable. And when that's being sort of lost because of people are picking stuff up, that window is closing to engage that customer in other ways. And so what we do is we're working with a bunch of Rise dispensaries, and essentially we're creating these shows that are focused on a product category or a brand product. So this next week, it's Thursday, we'll be doing Rhythm. Next week after, we'll be doing Can. The week after that, we'll be doing Dog Walkers. And essentially, we're just introducing the products, and then we are actually taking the products on the air, because we think that cannabis is experiential, and that if you're going to explain what this product does, we think the best way to do that is to actually show someone doing it and have them narrate their experience while they're doing an activity. And we've created a type of cannabis review that we call a test drive. And that's where we basically do exactly what I said. We invite a really interesting person to come on our air, try the product out, and then go do something. And they make these beautiful little videos. And that's sort of one of our forms, I would say. It's a test drive. And so on the show, Sell High, that's exactly what we're doing. We're sort of doing those in real time. So last week we did Incredibles, and we had an artist that took I think she took some gummies and she started painting. We had another guy that took gummies and composed a poem for us. And this all happens while we're talking to a cannabis expert and asking questions, and we're hearing from the brand and having them explain the product and how it works. And it's a really, really compelling experience. And then you can just click a button and buy it. And so we think that the cannabis industry really sort of is a high, steep learning curve. There's tons of products, there's tons of categories. You go to you go to Weed Maps, you type in sleep, you get 2,700 products, right? It's like what's a person supposed to do with that information? What we say is that e-commerce is really great if you know what you're looking for, but it kind of falls down if you don't know what you're looking for. It's to make that very clear. Look, if you want to buy a 3-foot HDMI cable, go to Amazon, type it in, you're in luck. But if you're looking for a cute pair of shoes, good luck. And thing is that when we're shopping, especially when we don't know what we always want, we don't know what we're looking for. The idea of browsing through a store is a really compelling experience, because I can look with my eyes and see assortments, or someone can come up to me and help me and size me up in a couple seconds and be like, oh, I think you need a new pair of shoes, a cute pair. And so so that's what we're focused on. And we think that we're solving a big problem, for a lot of people that are new to cannabis, or even people that have sort of taken a break and are back to cannabis. We think this is something the industry really needs, and we feel really lucky to be doing it.
I think consumers are going to be thrilled to death about this offering of Sell High because they can get that, like you said, that experiential, what does it feel like? How do I do it? What are the advantages to this? And then I would think even more so, brands must be thrilled with the opportunity to showcase all of these different products and how they work and sort of how you can function on them. Are you getting a lot of positive feedback from not only your clients but the people watching the show?
We are people. The feedback has been really, really positive. We're really happy. We think that I think we've hit a nerve. I think when you look at the cannabis landscape from a content perspective, it's really kind of it's sort of all over the place. I mean, on one hand, you've got like humor, and you've got like stoner sort of stuff, which is I guess in the humor context, you have some like very, very, very high end, high design things, and you have and then you have like agriculture, right? People that are like growing the products, and like it's all about like lights and stuff. But what we didn't see people that were talking about cannabis the way we use it, and that is that we think that cannabis improves your life, that it makes your life better, and that like we also want to use it better in our lives, and make it a sort of use cannabis to in a better way, in a world full of new products, new experiences, and sort of such creativity, in the space. So I mean, I think our content really focuses on those two elements.
You're appealing to maybe something that isn't being covered by other markets right now. And I think that's where we're seeing a lot of the innovation in cannabis and in cannabis media. People stepping up to say there's more to this plant than maybe just the humor aspect, than the stoner culture. There's an entire demographic that's really not being spoken to. And a lot of that is education, and especially around products. I know when I'm trying out sampling things for the magazine, a lot of my friends have never heard of any of the products that I'm trying. They don't know how it works, how the effects might be different or kick in faster. So I think kind of answering those questions for people is going to be super valuable in the marketplace.
Yeah, I think I appreciate that. I think that we're in agreement. Also, we like samples too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun.
We'll put your
send us your samples.
Info.
Just send us your samples. I'm just saying. Just as an aside only. Send us your samples. We're curious.
I appreciate that. So I want to talk about some of the other stuff that Wowee is doing as well. You've got the Flower Hour, which launched in January, and I want to hit on those. But let's take a quick sponsor break. We've got a lot more to talk about, and then we will be right back.
Today's episode of Cannabis and Tech Talks is brought to you by ACS Laboratory, the largest hemp and cannabis testing facility in the southeastern United States, providing a nationwide courier service for CBD and hemp samples. From potency testing and terpene profiling to testing for residual solvents and heavy metals, ACS Laboratory offers a wide range of tests from their state-of-the-art 20,000 square foot ISO 17025 accredited laboratory. With 21 Emerald badges 2 years in a row, you can have the satisfaction knowing your results will be consistent and accurate. Learn more about ACS Laboratory, go to acslabcannabis.com.
All right, we are back from our sponsor break. We're talking with Josh Koppel about Flower Hour and Wowee, and some really cool cannabis-centered streaming content. So before we move on from your quote QVC for THC series, Sell High, I wanted to ask, do you think people are becoming more familiar with legal cannabis, and are shows like this kind of the gateway to getting rid of some more of that lingering stigma?
I mean, I think that one of the reasons that there hasn't been a lot of cannabis media that has been I mean, I think that I think Vice did some stuff that felt very professional,
Mm.
and and I think that Netflix has done things, but I think by and large, I think the industry has been so regulated, and there's been so much uncertainty about regulation. And I think that a lot of people were kind of like didn't really want to deal with the just like I think a lot of businesses, especially brands, didn't they were busy, running their businesses and like trying to be successful and dealing with the other problems that they had. And so I just felt like there was an opportunity in in trying to figure out how to make content that appealed to a more broad audience. And that would appeal to us, like our team, my team, which are people that like love to use cannabis, but but didn't see content that fit, that felt like it was for us. And so we sought out to go and make it, and to go and like interview interesting people that use cannabis, and sort of talk about how people use this very potent and amazing plant in their lives. And that's what Flower Hour was really about. It's about that's a show that's hosted by Julia Rossi and David Morey, and it's a show that is just about sort of celebrating how we use cannabis and learning how other people use it, and making sort of pre-produced content that's about cannabis that's funny for us, the things that we think are funny. And so yeah, that's what Flower Hour has been.
I know Sell High is in Chicago right now, and then Flower Hour would appear to a broader demographic. Have you got plans to expand your reach for Sell High, and then offer?
Definitely. Yeah. We're this is the first test that we're doing. We think that this is a lot of opportunity for to be successful in America.
Yeah. And what's next for the network? Have you got other shows in the works, or what's your plan for the future?
We do. We have some other shows that are in the works that we can't really say yet, but things that we're very excited about. And we're very, very focused on Sell High. And so you're going to see more from us in this realm. And you're going to continue to see interesting and engaging content, in our social media, our YouTube pages, our Instagram. We feel like that, content that is actually actively selling is very, very useful, for dispensaries. It's useful for brands. And I think that we really found just a different sort of sense of purpose by creating Sell High, because, bringing revenue to the table is meaningful. And that's exactly what, the internet plus, this technology plus content is supposed to do, right? That this is exactly what is happening in China, where live shopping is, a gigantic business. Amazon is doing a lot of live shopping with Amazon Live Marketplace, where they are, they're spending a lot of energy building a network of, influencers and celebrities that are, helping people navigate through endless product selection, right? And so we're excited. We think that this is an opportunity that, really can be exciting for us. So.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that Amazon was doing a live component to their shopping, but it makes a lot of sense. And China too, you said. So maybe this is a sector that we're going to see a lot of evolution in, as people I think you hit on something that is true. There's so much, there's so many options, right, for what you can buy when you're doing e-commerce. And I think it really does become overwhelming, and you can scroll through page after page and not really feel like you've got a better understanding, and you're looking at the reviews. And so if you can kind of meld in even more technology to sort of make it feel more personable and approachable and understand that product better, that seems like a pretty ideal place to be as a brand.
I mean, yeah, yes. I mean, think about it. Think about how complex these products are. Infinite numbers of strains, right? Like this, Leafly is an entire site dedicated to. It's like Pandora for weed. I mean, there's endless strains, right? There's multiple use cases, right? From pain relief to exercise to just listening to music, right? A flood of new brands that are state specific, right? That are not actually, very few brands have been able to be in every state. There's a few of them, but they're not a lot of them. And then, trying to figure out how to appeal to both a new and, a new user and experienced users. So, I mean, we just believe that these are hard. Like, it is hard to go to a site if you don't know what you're looking for. And so we think that human beings can help with that. And yeah, that's what Sell High is all about.
I love that. I think like one of my favorite modalities for consumption is there's this Colorado product called Ripple, and it's like a powdered concentrate essentially. And you can get it in different varieties, THC or CBD, and add it to whatever you want. You can get it flavored or unflavored, but it's consistent, it's researched, it's science-backed, super cool thing. But whenever I tell people about it, it's just like I'm talking about, they can't imagine it. There's a narrow world of, I use flower, that's all I've ever used. And I think, especially for growing demographics, like I think one of the largest demographics right now that's picking it up is 65 and up. People, older users, who want to do it. But as we all know, smoking isn't necessarily the healthiest option. And it's also not the most discreet option. It's unpredictable. So introducing people to different ways to consume, I think is really going to be a game changer for the industry overall.
I totally concur. And I mean, I keep this up on my computer because it really informs the idea of the types of content we make. It's the consumption habits, like the top 10 consumption habits of cannabis, right? The first one is relaxation, followed by stress relief, reducing anxiety, improving sleep, pain management. I mean, like, if you just think about those top 5, it's just hard to think of another product that like has that many use cases. Oh, I want to fall asleep. I want to enjoy social experiences. I want to increase my overall wellness, treat medical conditions, stimulate creativity. It's like, whoa. We have a serious, we have a messaging, we have messaging complexity, right? And so like, how do you onboard a person, who maybe grew up in the 1980s, and they think about Nancy Reagan when they think about cannabis, but now it's legal. Or you have someone that maybe used it and then didn't use it anymore because they had kids, or you have my parents who are like baby boomers that like didn't use it and then now use it again. It just and it is not the same product that they used in the 60s, right? It's a totally different. It's all different. And so, like, how is a website supposed to help you do that? Like, how is the search box supposed to help you if you don't even know how to search, what to search for? So, like we just, human beings, like people talking about this stuff, normalizing it, showing how it works, like that's what Wowee is about, right? That is the programming, that is the type of programming we are making, really trying to to just make it a little bit easier for people to make good choices.
Well, tell us and our listeners, where can we go to find more information? How can we follow along with this journey and sort of eagerly anticipate our legal state coming online with Wowee?
Great. Well, you can find us at woweelive.tv. That's WOWEE live.tv. You can go to our Instagram page, which is It's Wowee, ITSWOWEE. We'd love you to join and subscribe and follow us if you can. And then you can also go and see lots of stuff that we've done on YouTube. And if you just look up Wowee TV, WOWEE TV, you will find us. You will get to see tons. And I mean, we made 35 shows for Flower Hour. And there's they're fantastic. There's experts and games and comedians and songs and test drives, and there's a lot. We spent a lot of time just in the last 6 months making tons of content, because frankly our goal was to try to understand, like, I'm a big believer in jumping in sort of head first and trying to make work so that you can understand what you're actually doing. And so we spent a lot of time meeting experts and talking to people and making really fun shows that we would love you to look at and tell us what you think and check it out. And if you want to go see Sell High, this is March right now. It's March 8th when we're recording this, but all March, every Thursday in March, we will be doing a live event, and you can watch the shows anytime, all in March. So, and get a great discount. We have a really fantastic discount on our cannabis products. And so if you are in the Chicago area, you can get it.
Sweet. I love that. And I would imagine even for those who are not in Chicago, if you just want to learn more about some of these different options available, that, maybe it's not going to be the same brand, but I think a lot of those consumption methods, are similar across state lines. So, get an education, check it out wherever you are.
That's right. That's right.
I think we'll kind of wrap it there. Are there any final, parting thoughts you'd like to share with our listeners?
I would just say, enjoy this fantastic plant that we have. And when we're here to help you, help guide you, make better decisions about it. But it's a journey, and we are thrilled to be in this business and to be, and to be representing, a plant that I've loved my entire life. And here to help spread the word.
I love that, Josh. Thank you. And for all of our listeners, if you enjoyed hearing about this emerging cannabis technology, we've got a lot of other great stuff for you on Cannabis Tech Talks. You can follow, like, and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And pick up our newest issue. We're available at Barnes & Noble across the country, and of course digitally at cannatechtoday.com. For Josh Koppel and myself, Patricia Miller, thanks for joining us, and we are signing off.